So I think Zverev Alcaraz is probably going to be the best match tonight, but my expectations are not very high for Sinner and Djokovic, unfortunately. Jeremy, I'm just going to say it. Djokovic got
Yeah.
lucky. He got lucky. It was such an unfortunate bummer
Hmm.
that Musetti got hurt, especially when he was playing so well and he looked like he had the match in his hands up 2 sets to love on Djokovic. Pulling his groin, it was so sudden. Like, that result absolutely sucked the soul out of me. I invested so much time and sleep or lack of sleep into that match. It was like 2 a.m. I was like dozing off on the couch. I was like, just one more set, Lorenzo. You could do this. And then out of nowhere, it's just like
Hmm.
the commentators got so concerned. And I was like, why are they overreacting and like making this such a big deal? And then all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, it's not looking good. And he like took a medical timeout and then like could barely move and could barely continue. And then it's like, and then all of a sudden, it's like Djokovic is in another semifinal. It's like we cannot get rid of this
Yeah,
guy.
we were. Yeah, in the locker room, second set, cast some dark magic or something. We were texting, and we were like all like chipper, like wow, Lorenzo looking so good right
Oh
now, like
yeah,
smooth sailing 2 sets. Let's see, can he follow it up in the semis? Or, et cetera. And I'm like, I don't know. Look out, Djokovic is about to turn it up in the third, push it to five, and then Musetti is going to win in five, just like my prediction. And we're
yeah,
banter, and then there goes the grind.
yeah. Uh,
Musetti, fantastic tournament for him. Many more to come. We're double fault community all love Lorenzo Musetti. I would have to say this is nothing new for him. Like being ahead of one of the best players in the world, and then his body failing him. So what are you going to do? It's part of the sport. You get to that, like the Discord favorite Karen Hachinov. He gets
yeah.
gets to a certain, I forget exactly what time in the match, if it's like the 3 hour and 20-minute mark or something, that historically once it goes past that, he loses every match. Like people's people's bodies are not naturally meant to you know play the tennis at this level for so long. So, it's something to work at, and it's a variable. And Sinner, we've seen in the past, has, that was holding him back from being the best player, and he worked at it. And, a couple years ago, showed that he has the stamina to keep it up and just go, indefinitely. Djokovic, Nadal, that won Aussie Open from
Oh
like, I
yeah,
don't know
they
if that
could
was
like
2009, that they were both by the
no,
net. They were like
it was
wobbling, like couldn't
2011.
stand up, right? Because they just played like 5 hours. Right. Okay. So, this people are just able to just go mind over matter, just, body's gonna fail, but, who's just gonna be the most tenacious?
Yeah,
Uh, and I think that, uh, you know, Musetti just he's right there. So it's really exciting. Your pick for him ending the year at number three is looking pretty good right now.
I
That's what I'll
agree.
say.
I'm very impressed with Lorenzo's performance. He did have a lot of court time coming into this match, and you got to credit Djokovic a little bit for pushing him. And tennis is a physical sport, so being able to last through these wars and these physical battles is part of the game. Not saying Djokovic didn't get lucky that it was a injury like that, but with Lorenzo's play style, he puts his play style is dependent on him grinding and being a super athlete and playing these long points and a lot of defense and getting a lot of balls back. And it's like on a hardcore, that's tough. He's got a lot of tread on his tires, so maybe that's something where he looks forward to, or puts more emphasis on the beginning of slams now that he's a high seed of taking care of business earlier and not spending unnecessary court time. So when he does finally get to these matches where he's pushing these top guys, and like he got a set on Alcaraz at Roland Garros last year before his body gave out. Like he's taking down Djokovic here. Like he's right there with these top guys, but he's got to, like you said,
Hmm.
surpass that physical barrier. So I think Musetti has the tennis. He's one of my favorite players to watch. Obviously, the one-hander I'm going to drool over every time I watch him, and I wish the best for Lorenzo. It's such a bummer seeing him go out like this, but I think it was a smart decision by him to not push himself throughout that match or try to extend it, and play the safe card because
Yeah.
he's got a big year
Yeah.
upcoming, and I wouldn't be messing around with that and making it worse than it can be. So, like you said, he has that history of with withdrawing and retiring out of matches, but it's justified. And I know Lorenzo is a fighter, so if he could have played or maybe tanked a set and like recovered physically if he was fatigued or like feeling the conditions, but that's not what this was. This was, a pull or a tear, so tough to, risk that furthering your injury and making it worse. So yeah, definitely sad stuff. And Djokovic even said it
Yeah.
himself, like he deserved to go
Mhm.
home, and now he gets the toughest test of the tournament against two-time defending champion Jannik Sinner.
Yeah. No, just to put a bow on the
Mhm.
the Musetti Djokovic situation. Yeah, I think that Musetti could have continued, but he would have been at what, like, physically just not able to get to shut. So it would have just been a painful third, fourth, and fifth set that Djokovic would just win 6-0. And
Yeah,
any top 300 or whatever in the world player would win. Because you can't, at that
yeah.
level, you can't not be, at least like 90% or whatever. Um,
And if he
so,
made the next round, he wouldn't
it's
have
a
been able to play.
marathon of a season, not a sprint. Yeah, exactly. So, just in every way, right decision by Lorenzo, as painstaking as it was. But really long year ahead, and it's going to be the best one of his career up to date so far.
We
As
got
great
this.
as he was last year, he got into the top 10, all that. I think that he's going to have a fantastic year. Just
Agreed.
get those, keep keep those physicals up.
Yeah, get those
Do
hips
his
ready for
best.
clay season.
Djokovic, yes, Djokovic didn't win a single set in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals, and lo and behold, find himself in the semifinals against world number 2, Jannik Sinner.
Do you think
Maybe
he
that's a
gets his
really tough
that?
matchup for him.
And the odds are
I,
set like it's
uh,
the question between
Anything's
this for the
possible.
gambling. Yeah, I think the question for the gambling line here is this going to be 3-0 Sinner? Because the way that Djokovic looked against Musetti, it
Yeah,
was
is he going to go set?
seriously, yeah. And to be honest, it's hard if you
Yeah.
watch that full Musetti match to not be concerned with Djokovic's level. I know he had a blister that he was dealing with. He's maybe not, and he was
Mhm.
just so many uncharacteristic errors that Musetti was drawing. It's tough to break down Musetti's defense, and Djokovic clearly didn't want to get in long points with Musetti, so he was taking a little bit more risks where naturally more errors are going to come that way. But, I'm not used to watching Novak Djokovic miss, and there was a lot of unforced errors. So if we see the level from Djokovic that he showed against Musetti, I think with how ruthless
Oh no.
Sinner can be, this is a
Mhm.
slaughtering. So the question is, Novak is he going to get a set?
Hey.
I don't. I think if I'm a betting man, which I am, I'm going to take that. This is 3-0 Sinner.
Yeah, that's a reasonable claim. I'm gonna throw it out there and say, the fact that he didn't have to play Mensik, and the fact that Musetti was just really balling out up 2-0, and immediately when the third set cracks, that just, like, his groin goes out. I think there may be something otherworldly going on. So, as Djokovic might, through nothing to do with his tennis game and winning a tennis match, he might somehow find himself in the finals. Not that I'm praying for that.
Yeah, no.
Um, but it's really hard to count Djokovic out. I know he's almost fossilized at this point, but like it's just statistically the GOAT, and I think that he's gonna fight. Try to mess Sinner up. It's so hard because Sinner does everything that Djokovic does, but better, and he's just 15 years younger or whatever. But
Yeah,
I think that Djokovic is going to get a set. I think he's going to make it a match, but then Sinner's just going to pull away. I think I think that anyone saying that Djokovic wins this is like really, really hopeful. And who knows? It's a crazy sport, but I'd be absolutely stunned if Sinner didn't win this. At most in 4 sets, but most likely it will be Sinner 3-0. But I'm hoping
Yeah.
Djokovic gives it his all because I'm trying to pull an all-nighter tonight, so make it worth my
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay up for this
Caffeinated
one.
tea to the rescue.
I think I'm going to, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay up for this one. I think I've decided I'm going to like watch back the replay when I wake up in the morning and like skip through it to make it go faster. But yeah, I mean, it's just tough to go against
Match
Sinner.
point, Jannik Sinner goes down in a heap and Djokovic advances. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, like, this match is also at night, in the slower conditions. So I'm not going to say, either Jannik would be really at risk with the heat or like Djokovic either there. So it's going to come down to the pure tennis. And in these extended rallies, it's like, what can Djokovic really do better than Jannik Sinner at this point? Because a couple years ago when Djokovic, like
He'd be a
2023,
jerk. That's about it.
well, the thing was back, 3 years ago when Djokovic was still winning 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 when he was still winning 2 or 3 slams a year, the main advantage he had over these younger guys was the mental advantage, where he can compensate for his declining physicals when he played these younger guys like Alcaraz and Sinner, because he was the way more experienced player, and he used his like alpha mental games to get in Carlitos and all these guys' heads at the time, and he was just radiating aura, and he was just mowing down all these guys, and it was kind of felt obsolete because he was a robot. But now that he's declining physically, and Sinner and Alcaraz have evolved as players and gained this experience in handling these tough conditions in these high pressure environments, it's like, what does Novak do better? Like, what's his advantage? And it hurts me to say, because it's like, obviously he has an incredible legacy, which is like, if you're betting on him, you're betting because of his pedigree and his legacy and what he's done here before, not based off how he looks right now. And I'm honestly a little concerned because I want him to stay around, but I think we might only have like 1 or 2 years left of him, where I think this year it's like his year that he realizes that he might not be able to do it again. And then next year is where his like swan song comes, because, I think Father Time is finally catching up to Djokovic. And I know I'm going to say this and he's probably going to win tonight, because that's how it's gone throughout his career, and he probably is going to wake up completely different than what he looks like a couple days ago. But yeah, I got some serious concerns about Novak.
You just set yourself up.
Yeah, I know.
Because you brought up how you love the post-match interviews. So Novak in his post-match interview after beating Sinner is going to be like, well, I saw the Double Fault podcast and the host Will said I was going to get 3-0'd and then I'm going to retire. I just.
When this comes up on his timeline before the match, he's going to be like, "This is the reason I beat Sinner, to smite this kid." He's like, "Fuck the haters, long live the Knoll fam." Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go. I definitely want Zverev to really push Alcaraz and give himself a chance to find himself in another Aussie Open final, because Zverev's always played great at this tournament, and I don't really remember the finals, probably because Sinner just kind of waxed him. But
yeah, he did last year.
I hope that Zverev puts himself in another position, because I would love, like you said, just to, for the remainder of his career, for him to just get that monkey off his back, get the slam, because then I think that's going to affect his belief, and then he'll say, okay, it's me, in the semis against Alcaraz or Sinner, I have a fighter's chance. Right now, I think he's still, it's a bit of a reach to say that he's just as likely to win as one of those two guys.
Yeah,
but things can change. I said. I think last year is like, this could be the year that he does it, and it didn't. But again, here's 2026. Zverev looking super good. This could be the year that he does it.
We believe in you, Sasha.
The rest will be history.
We believe in you. You got to just keep believing in yourself, and hopefully in a little bit, he goes for it and he pushes Alcaraz, and we get an absolute battle to watch. And Jeremy, I'm very excited for the tennis tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. We both got Carlitos in 5, and then Sinner cruising against Djokovic. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these matches, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to us talk about tennis. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so it really helps out if you guys click that button below and help us get to our goal. So thank you all for listening. Enjoy the tennis tonight at the Australian Open, and keep double faulting out there.
Let's go, Rabakina.
Oh yeah, I got Rabakina to win on the women's
Deuces.
side, by the way.